No. No. Not my tiny leader's deck. The professor's gonna kill me.
Hiya, Kahlua. What a nice deck box. Do you want it back?
Yes, please.
You look like a nice cat. I bet you brew a lot of decks.
A few, but my Shorokai list is my best.
Where is it?
On the database?
I bet I could help you get more on the database. Do you want more decks on the database, Kahlua?
I'm not supposed to take deck advice from strangers.
Oh, I'm higher. From Playing with Power. Higher? Yes, meet Kahlua. Kahlua, meet higher. Now we aren't strangers, are we?
How do I get more decks on the database?
You include lurking predators. Put all your creatures into play. What are your favorite creatures, Kahlua? There's Nezahal, Jin Cataxius, Consecrated Sphinx, and...
Void Winnower?
Void Winnower. Is that your favorite?
Uh-huh.
Mine too. Because they can't even spells block. Can't.
Can't. I should get going now.
Oh. Without your deck box? You don't want to lose it, Kahlua. The professor's gonna kill you. Here. Take it. Take it, Kahlua.
So originally I was thinking of a topic that we could talk about during this interview. Mm-hmm. And we played a game together maybe over a month now. It was quite a while ago. But I don't know if you remember it or not. But you were on Kinnan, mm-hmm. and there was another player who had a Krark and Sakashima in play. And they were attempting to storm off while you had lurking predators in play.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the screen for our viewers, but could you tell everyone what Lurking Predators does?
Yeah, Lurking Predators is a 6-mana green enchantment that says whenever an opponent casts a spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature, you may put that, or not you may, you must put that creature onto the battlefield. If not, you may put that card to the bottom of your library.
It's not a very commonly seen card in CEDH. What made you include it in your Kinnan list?
Card is bonkers, man. It's people like to storm. People like to play spells, and if you can support it because you have a way to make a lot of mana, then you can absolutely run this, especially if you're running like big creatures. So it really found a good home in Kinnan because Kinnan makes mana really fast, and usually you're trying to figure out what to do with the mana. Also, Kinnan dies a lot, so this is just another version of Kinnan that does 1 card at a time rather than 5.
Nice. Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but yeah, it's really cool. So in your Kinnan list, what are kind of like the biggest hits that you would be happy to flip into play?
Void Winnower.
Yeah.
Void Winnower is it just has immediate impact. And that's like a lot of the design of the deck is to have immediate impact. Another card that might be good. Oh man, there's a lot of cards. Terrastodon's a really good card to hit. Nyx Bloom Ancient's really good to hit. Sometimes I just want a Peregrine Drake. Deadeye Navigator could be really good. A Clone Effect is also really good. So a lot of the time when I'm reliant on on lurking predators, and there's like another player who's storming off, I'm really looking for a clone effect, because more often than not, a clone effect leads to a dockside.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually an opponent has a dockside. So if I can get a clone effect, then it's a dockside, then oh, great. And now I'm just waiting for them to keep going, and I hopefully get a Deadeye Navigator. Same thing works with Peregrine Drake, or if I have a Nyx Bloom Ancient with a like Grim Monolith on the battlefield. There's a lot of that kind of synergy. Additionally, like right now on the list for the MLC, I made some changes. I added Phyrexian Revoker. I added Mystic Snake. Mystic Snake's really good with lurking predators because the spell's still on the stack, so I can counter it.
One of the, I don't know if it's still in your list, but I was looking on Mox Field, and one of the spiciest cards I thought was the Nullstone Gargoyle. Is that still on your list?
Yeah, Nullstone Gargoyle. Yeah, same thing with Nullstone Gargoyle and
the Jin.
Jin Gataxias. Yeah, they do the same thing. One does it better than the other, but very very, very, very strong, very hard to deal with creatures for sure. Really, really good.
Yeah. So you've tested out this deck quite a bit. Do you have any highlights you could share with us where you flipped over something really spicy from lurking predators that just completely changed the outcome of the game in your favor? Anything you think of?
Yeah, Void Winnower has done that a few times. I've had people play like Breach or Savine's Reclamation, right? So it's like, oh, Savine's Rec for Breach. And I'm like, great. And then on that cast for Savine's, I flipped Void Winnower, and they're like, oh man, like I can't do the LED things anymore. Like, oh man, this is so brutal. I've even had people like cast an LED, and on the cast like flipped like Reclamation Sage to kill the Underworld Breach. Like it's rough, man. Let's see other things that I flipped. Clone effects have just been like they're really out of control. Coma can be a big problem. Coma can be such a big problem. Same thing.
Have you
with
had anything where it's like someone casts a wheel and then you like flip a Sphinx? Yeah.
I haven't had that. But that would be sick. I would love that. I've had people cast a spell and then I hit Nullstone Gargoyle, or like, yeah, and then they're just like, oh my god, seriously? Like, oh man, that's a big issue. I'm trying to think of other things that have been great. So there's a couple creatures that if they soul bond to Deadeye, it's just a problem. So I've had a Terracodon get flipped, and then the next card was Deadeye, and then now Deadeye is soul bonded to Terracodon, and I can just blow up everyone's non-creatures.
Oh, that's spicy.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. I would say if there's anything you would want to know about lurking predators is that if you're backed into a corner and you have to tap out, lurking predators is a great card to tap out for. You don't have to do anything. You literally are just flipping. There's weaknesses to the card. A good example is that if someone casts a Gilded Drake, your creature will go on the battlefield first so they can Gilded Drake the creature. And you can't and you can't control like the creature coming out. If it's on top of your library, it's going to be on the battlefield.
Are there any other lists that you're working on that you've thought about including lurking predators? Or other decks that might be worth including it in?
I've put a lot of thought about that. I have a list that I'm working on now that's centered around lurking predators, and it's very similar to Bloodpod, with like the intention of having a ton of creatures, and then using like Academy Rector to get lurking predators out. I don't know how strong it's gonna be. Like it might be just like a casual list, which is fine. But there's something to me about just getting creatures onto the battlefield. Now, something I haven't put a lot of like thought into is the ability to copy a triggered ability. So adding like Strionic Resonator might be a card I want to do. There's a lot of like things like that I would love to try, but it's just it's challenging. Yeah,
I was trying to think of like a current deck that I would maybe want to slot that card into, and I was thinking maybe like a Timna Kodama or Timna Kamal type of thing where you're flipping like stacks pieces into play, or like big creatures. But
You could definitely do Timna. Like, yeah, Timna Kamal. That might be really cool. Timna Kadama could support it. It could support it. You would really want like your number 2 card, whatever Kodama deck is, to be like another 6-drop if possible. Like, oh, could you imagine if you did just Timna or Kodama Sakashima, and then Casa Sakashima comes in a 6-drop, so you can put down Lurking Predators. Oh god, it seems brutal. Cast a spell, trigger my Kodamas. Please do this.
It's a pipe dream.
Yes, I'm gonna build that just for you, Kahlua.
Thank you. Oh hey, before I forget, I got a prototype of the professor's new deck box, the academic, and I really wanted to show it to you. I'll go grab it and I'll meet you out front. Okay?